ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome all to our third SAARC Talk Series 2023. This is Dr. Beena Gandhi Deori, Deputy Director of Research, SAARC Cultural Center, Sri Lanka. We are honored and thrilled to have you all here as we are here to listen, learn, and engage from our distinguished speaker. On this occasion, I invite Ms. Renuka Ikanaike, Director, SAARC Cultural Center, to say a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Bina. Good afternoon, distinguished guests. A warm welcome to the third session of the talk series on cultural heritage and cultural diversity in the SAARC region. As the director of the SAARC Cultural Center, it is my great pleasure to stand before you today and extend my heartfelt greetings. This talk series has been organized with the aim of contributing to sustainable development through a deeper understanding of cultural heritage, diversity, and inclusion. Our objective is to explore the rich tapestry of cultural traditions and experiences that exist within the SAARC region and to promote an inclusive society that respects and celebrates these diversities. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from esteemed speaker who will enlighten us on various aspects of cultural heritage and diversity in the SAARC region. His expertise and insights will undoubtedly broaden our perspectives and deepen our appreciation for the vibrant cultures that thrive in our region. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Iyaz Naseem, for graciously accepting our invitation and for sharing his valuable knowledge and time with us. Their dedication to the preservation and promotion of the cultural heritage is truly commendable, and we are fortunate to benefit from their expertise. I would also like to extend a heartfelt appreciation to the esteemed audience for gracing us with your presence today. I encourage you all to actively engage in the discussions, ask questions, and share your insights. This platform is not only an opportunity to learn but also a chance to collaborate and build connections with like-minded individuals who share a passion for cultural heritage and diversity. I sincerely hope that this talk series will serve as a valuable resource for all of you, providing a platform for knowledge, exchange, dialogue, and inspiration. Together, we can foster a deep appreciation for our collective heritage and work towards a future that is both culturally rich and socially inclusive. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to all of you, and I wish you an enriching and engaging session. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Throughout this lecture series, we strive to bring insightful, thought provoking, and inspiring individuals who can shed light on various topics and offer unique perspectives. Therefore, we have the honor of hosting Mr. Iyaz Naseem, who is an executive board member of Divehi Language Academy, Maldives, who is also teaching at Avid College, Maldives. Mr. Naseem has diverse experiences as a video journalist, as well as he has also worked as editor in various reputed newspapers. He has made immense contribution in the field of promotion and preservation of Divehi language, An expert on Divehi language, Mr. Naseem is going to share his knowledge and experience with us based on his extensive research. Today, he is going to speak on the etymological connection of Maldivian language with other Indian languages. Over to Mr. Naseem.
Good afternoon to all of you. Today, my topic is etymological connection of Maldivian language to other Indian languages. So, uh, first of all, I would like to say a few words about this topic because some of my friends, when they saw this topic, they asked me, is Maldivian language an Indian language?
Hmm.
Then I said, why are you asking this question? And they said that because it says etymological connection of Maldivian language to other Indian language. So if you add the word other, which reflects that Maldivian language is also an Indian language. But if you remove the word other, then it is etymological connection of Maldivian language to Indian language. So in that, it excludes Maldivian language. Then I said that in your school, what did you learn about the origin of Maldivian language? Then they said that we learned that Maldivian language or Divehi, the origin of it is Sanskrit. Then I said that so. Uh, then what can we say? Then they understood why I use the word other instead of not using the word. Okay, so the Maldivian language, also known as Divehi, or sometimes it is written with an H, uh, but in Indian languages, normally they use DH to show the aspirated consonants. But I think in Sri Lanka they use DH like Maldivians in the same way. DH for the sound without an aspiration. So the Maldivian language is the official language of the Maldives. Divehi is the official language of Maldives. Despite its unique geographical location, Maldivian exhibits intriguing linguistic connections with various Indian languages. This is the research which I uh, have done, but I don't think I can present all in 1 hour. So I have summarized it to a certain extent. So it delves into the etymological links between Divehi and other Indian languages, shedding light on the historical interactions that have influenced its vocabulary and phonological characteristics through an analysis of shared lexicon and phonetic similarities. This study seeks to uncover the linguistic heritage that binds the Maldivian language with its Indian sisters. So, when we uh, look at the literature, we see that the late H.C.P. Bell has mentioned in his monograph about the Maldivians. He says that, uh, quote in Albert Gray, as to its origin, H.C.P. Bell, in his monumental monograph on the Maldives, 1940, quote in Albert Gray, he says that as to its origin, the race which now inhabits the Maldivian archipelago and which has occupied it from the earliest times of which we have any record is unquestionably of the same Aryan stock as Sinhalese. This conclusion is borne out by the evidence of language, physical traits, tradition, folklore, manners, and customs. So, Every major empire that flourished in the Indian Ocean or that has a hand on Indian Ocean and its environment had an impact on the Maldives. There is no doubt on it. Various degrees of these effects can be seen in the current cultural polity of the Maldives. The most noteworthy of these is the language of the Maldives, Divehi. Linguists regard Divehi as a member of Indo-Aryan family of languages. There is no question that Maldivian and other Indian languages may have etymological ties. This is inevitable given the geography and history of human involvement in this area. So now you can see a script was used in Maldives during 12th century AD. This script is called Ibu Guranda Akuru. Akuru in Maldivian language is letters, which is an etymological adaptation of Akshar. So Akuru and Akshar, it is the same meaning. So it means the letters. So Deebu Guranda, we can say Dweep Granta. Granta is also a type of script was used in our South Asia. So now when you look at the script, I'm sure you will see a lot of similarities to some of South Asian scripts like Sinhala, Malayalam, Tulu, and various other South Asian language. So I'm sure the letter Ka is very similar to that of Sinhala and also Malayalam, and La is also very similar, and La is also very similar. In the last line, you can see La. So it was the script that was used in Maldives to write its language in 12th century. So up to around 2 centuries, this script was used. And later, this script was developed into this script now, which you can see on the screen. So this script is called Dives Akuru or Dives script. So it is written from left to right like that of other South Asian scripts. And now Maldivians use a script called Kana to write the language, which is written from right to left like that of Arabic. So when we look at the historical documents like the stories from Jataka that mentions 1,000 islands, which is very likely to be the Maldives, and reference to Maldives Oka also in like Peppers of Alexandria and also the Suleiman, the merchant of Siraf, or also Al Masudi, who visited Sri Lanka in 19, not 19, 916. He also states that there are countless number of islands, more exactly 1900 in the Indian Ocean. Other travelers like Chinese writer Ma Huan also speaks of some small narrow islands which he is also pointing towards Maldives. So these islands, the islands of Maldives, were known to seafarers from long ago. So we know that Maldives have been inhabited for a long time, and from archaeological sites in Maldives, we have got results from carbon dating that says that Maldives have been at least inhabited for Common Era stars. So in BC, there were people living in Maldives. So Divehi language, as I have shown you before, has had three distinctive period of writings. The first script was called Evela Akur by XCP Bell, which means ancient script. So Evela Akur is the Greek Grantha, and later it was changed into the Dives Akuru or Dives script. So Evela Akuru and Dives Akuru has a lot of similarities because Dives Akuru is originally developed from Evela. So here are, copper plate grants are found in the Maldives. I mean, those are official writings from 12th century. We can see in those copper plate also some part of it is written in using Devanagari script. You can see from the first page. You can see in this square next to circular part, you can see that there are Devanagari letters used. So this copper plate is written using Evela or the Dweep Grantha script, or as we say, Deebuguranda Apuru. But the special part written in the square is written using Devanagari script. So the etymology of the vast majority of the word could be traced to Sinhala, Hindi, Punjabi, Gujarati, Sindhi, Marathi, Konkani, Sanskrit and Pali, and they form the oldest strata of Divehi, going to the pre-Islamic time. This is vividly evident when the terminology of the astrologer and the astronomer are looked into. The names of all the streams, we call it Nake, which is Nakshatra, and
Mm.
all the signs of zodiac, which we call Rahi. It could be Rashi in some of the Indian languages, are examples. Another interesting point noticed is the subtle way the terms of pre-Islamic system of belief have been turned to something maleficent and retained them in the language of the present-day Maldives. This can be compared to the way the ancient Maldivians covered up and saved the places of worship they used for another day. Good examples of this are seen in Devi. Devi is Devi. If you, remove this H, because normally we use in Maldives this H not for spirited control, and it is only for da. So not for tha, but it is for da. So which for Divehis of today or Maldivians of today is mythical beings capable of moving across the seas, land and other barriers, sometimes visible but more often invisible, helpful or harmful, requiring supplication, sacrifice, or even rebuke and censure. So, as late Hassan Ahmad Mani has mentioned, that Divehi through with both the Divehi though with both the fa and fa sounds are there in our phonetic system, has in many cases adapted the Indian P sound to a F sound.
Mm.
This seems to have happened due to the influence of Arabic after the conversion, since the oldest stratum of the language available to us in the form of the Sofa deciphered Lomapan, the copper plate grams, contain no fa sound. But now in Maldivian language, you can see a lot of fa sounds. Divehi word pani. Pani means meaning worm or maggot or bacteria is panu or panuva in Sinhala, and pranaka in Sanskrit, and panaka in Pali. So when we look at various Indian languages, we see, for example, the cha sound when it comes to Divehi, it becomes sa. So chai becomes sai or sa in Maldives. So cha, you come to Maldives, ask for a sa instead of chai. You will get it. And S sound also changes sometimes into H sound. So swapna in old Indian vocabulary, now in Hindi it will be sapna, becomes hooking in Divehi. So you can see that S sound has changed
Often.
into a
Swap.
H sound, and that pa sound has changed into a pa sound. So the word, for example, Chandi, Chamundi becomes Handi and Hamundi in Maldivian language. So Cha also becomes a Ha. That's why Chand becomes Handu. Chand becomes Handu in Maldives. And Y sound also, Ya sound also sometimes is changed into a Da sound. So Yatra becomes Daturu. So if we say Yatra, that means if we say Daturu, that means Yatra in most of the Indian language. So uh, the when we look at different from the different words in Divehi language, like mamma means mother, papa is father. I'm sure you can link this to various Indian languages. Doru means door, darwaza or darja or dorja. Sort of, uh, I mean, this variation of this word also we see in lot of Indian languages. Where is air? So it is Vayu in Hindi also. And Duas is day, is Divas in most of the Indian languages, and sometimes it is Din, but Divas is very, we can find that word in so many places. Water is pink, so if you change this F to a P, then it will be something like pen, or and we have for example for limo pani we say lumbo funny. So that pa changes into a pa, so it becomes lumbo funny means the lime water, the lemon water, or the juice which is made of lemon. The word, for example, after the conversion of Maldives to Islam, also uh, Maldivians retained some religious terminology also from the old language, like for paradise, they did not take the Arabic word for the paradise, which is Jannat. Instead, they are still using Swar, which is from Swaraj, and the word for hell is still Naraka, and the word for lion is Singa. So there are, if we go and check the words, we can see that more than 79%, more than 79% of Maldivian words, the Divehi words, they have roots or etymological adaptations from various Indian languages, various Indo-Aryan languages, various Indian languages like uh, Dravidian languages also, from Malayalam, Tamil also we have taken a lot of words. For example, the B sound in Maldives is sometimes a V sound in Indian language. So, in Indian languages, when they say Videsi or Videshi, for Maldivians it is Videsi. So, foreign things, a foreigner is the Videsi in Maldives. So, if you hear the word Videsi in the Maldives, that means a foreigner. And like in Dravidian language, Venum Venum means want, like in Malayalam and Tamil. The V can be changed into a B to Maldivianize the word, or to make that word a Divehi word. So it will become Denu. Denu is the word for to want something. Denu. And again, a word like Kopam. Kopam is the anger in Dravidian languages. It becomes Kofa in Divehi, and it is not an ordinary anger because it is used as an honorific term. So when a respectable person or when an honorific person becomes angry, then we use he is now having Kofa. Then the word ship, we say Odi, also has roots to Dravidian like Odam. Odam is ship. And like the word umbrella, umbrella we say Kuda. Uh, also have that, I mean, we can see that word Kuda from Malayalam as well. So we know that Divehi language has literary history uh, from 12th century, because prior to 12th century we don't have much uh, writings survived, only because the environment of Maldives is also a barrier for the survival of the paper document. But those which were written on stone, those which were written on copper plates, we can see them today also. So the linguists they have who have done the research on the Loma Pan or the copper plate uh, grants that were official um, documents from the 12th century. They say that based on the research they have done on the etymology of the language, on the grammar of the language, they say that it is based on the foundation of Sanskrit. And so there was a time the Chola Empire had hands on notion, and the influence exerted on the language seems to have been minimal and inclined towards Sri Lanka rather than India. But it is noticeable fact that the northern Maldives did absorb more foreign influence in culture and language than the southern and central atolls. So it is especially the southern three southernmost atolls. So now also, if we look at the language or the dialects of Maldives, the southern three atolls dialect is different. They don't have a single dialect, but instead they have three distinct dialects. Um, one spoken in Addu, the southernmost part of Maldives, and Formula, one island, which is also one atoll naturally, and and the Huadu atoll, which is the third of these three southern sisters. So the uh, etymology of Divehi language, as I have mentioned earlier, can be traced to Sinhala, Hindi, Punjabi, Gujarati, Sindhi, Marathi, Konkani, Sanskrit, and Pali. Uh, a, a study that was done by Mr. Hussein Rashid Ahmed about the connections of Divehi to other Indian languages. In that, he has mentioned that Punjabi has given a huge number of words to Maldivian language. Also, there are enough number of Gujarati, Sindhi, Marathi, and Konkani words also in the language. But if we have more time, we could have discussed about different uh, vocabulary from different languages. Just uh, today's presentation, I am mainly focusing on the historical connections that resulted this etymological connection. So the etymological connections of Maldivian language to other Indian languages is because of these uh, links and these historical things that happened in the long history of Maldives and its neighbors. So when we look at the vocabulary, we can see that although we believe Sanskrit is the origin of the language, sometimes the words are not that much similar to Sanskrit. Why is it? Because uh, the the present day Indo-Aryan languages are uh, formed from Prakrits that were formed from Sanskrit. So the when Sanskrit developed from Sanskrit, a Prakrit is developed. That Prakrit has its own grammar, its own way of phonology, its own phonetics. So, because of these changes, the original Sanskrit word is changed uh, into the Prakrit. Uh, so, it loses some of its Sanskrit features. So when this Prakrit again uh, develops into a new language like Divehi or Bengali or Marathi or Konkani or Sinhala, it gives the features in it, not the features of Sanskrit, not the original features of Sanskrit. So, for example, the word hung in the Maldivian language is a distress signal given on a boat or in an island that needs the urgent help. The Sinhala equivalent is sun. So, as I have mentioned earlier, this H sound changes into a S sound in other languages, but from there, when we take it, it becomes a ha sound. So, han becomes sun or sana. Uh, in Sanskrit, it is samjna. In Pali, it is sanna. So we can see that the Pali word is more closer to our word than the Sanskrit word, because Pali is from a Prakrit that was developed from Sanskrit. So the we have another interesting letter in Divehi called Sha, Sha, Shaviani. We say it's Shaviani or Sha, uh, which in other Indian languages, when we say it becomes Ta. For example, Bashi. Bashi is eggplant or brinjal. Uh, it will be Batu in Sinhala, and it will be Bantaki in um, Sanskrit. So the Divehi verb for twist, which means which is Vashani, Vasha Sha. This Sha, if we change into Ta, then we can see the Vatanava or what the Pali word is Vattati. So in Sinhala it will be, I think, Vatanava, to twist something or to roll something. So and we see uh, like as I have mentioned earlier, also the ya sound changes into da sound in Divehi. So yatra becomes datu, and yantara becomes dantura. Yantara becomes dantura in Divehi. And Divehi and Sinhala share some prenasalized consonants like nga, nda, nda, mba, like these sounds. These are not common in other languages, but we have these common, like we say bangu. Bangu means the intoxicant or the drug, the narcotic. In Sanskrit it will be banga, and in Pali it is the other nasal sounds in Divehi is that which comes with da, like gandu in Sinhala which will be gadu or gaduwa, and in Sanskrit it will be ganda, and in Pali it will be, I think, ganda also. So uh, we when we these are at the word level or etymological level. In grammatical level also, or in syntax also, we have lot of interesting common things, and in morphology also we have lot of interesting common things like uh, Hindi word karna. Hindi word karna is the Purani Kurung in Dive. Kurun. The same Karana is found in Divehi. Kurung. Karna is Kurung. Then Karwana is Kuruvung. So to make somebody to do something in Hindi it is Karwana. So our sound is coming uh, to the original form. Karna, that Karana is the original form of the word, but Va sound is coming to assist or to form the uh, uh, that form, which means to make somebody to do something. So it is Karwana in Hindi and Kuruvung in Divehi. So in Divehi also we use the same Va sound, Kuruvung, to make somebody to do something. And to like Karlena, that la sound also has an importance in Hindi, Karlena. So in Divehi it will be Kollung, Kollung. So that la is also coming in that. So these are uh, we can see that in these morphological changes, and also the same sounds, same patterns are available in Divehi and other Indian. For example, the word buddhi, which means idea or brain, that also we find in other various Indian languages when we look at the etymological connection. So I believe that uh, etymological findings in a language is not a very easy task to do, because there are a lot of words in everyday use language. We may not use a lot of words, but in a normal dictionary, a school dictionary also will have more than 30,000 words. So to research all these words, it is quite big task. So scholars like late Hassan Ahmad Manik and Mr. Hussein Rashid Ahmad from Maldives, they have done uh, hard work, and uh, from their work also we see, as I have mentioned earlier, 79% of the Maldivian words can be traced back to Indian language. The other 21%, if we see, it will be from Persian and Arabic and from Turkic language. That is because of the conversion to Islam. Because of the conversion, the various religious terms uh, uh, had to be taken from Arabic and Persian and even Turkish. So there, when we look at the morphology and syntax, we see that there is some Turkic or Turkish group of languages. The features in some Turkish group of languages also found in Divehi. So this is also an area we have to research more and find out why is it and what is the exact amount or the degree of this relationship. We have to check. Uh, so, but the, prior to the conversion of Islam in Maldives, if we look at the, I mean, copper plate grants and the documents from that era, I mean, which is closer to the conversion, though it is after conversion. Though that time the vocabulary is more Indic, more Indic. But now, today also we can say 79% of the words have the Indic origin. If we look at the etymology, and 21% is from Arabic, Persian, and Turkish. When I say Turkish, it will be more correct to say Azeri because the one uh, theory of Maldivian conversion to Islam, it says a person from Tabriz in Iran came and converted. In another version, it says a person from Morocco came and converted. So, but when we look at the basic uh, words or basic terminology, the religious terminology, we can see that those words are not from Arabic. Those words are not from Arabic. Uh, if it was an Arab who converted the Maldives to Islam, and Islam's main language is Arabic, so it is obvious that the basic terminology should be in Arabic. But despite that, we can see that uh, though Islam's main language is Arabic, but the basic terminology of basic Islamic terminology in Maldivian language is not. For example, namaz. Namaz is the prayer. In Arabic, it is salat. In Arabic, it is salat, but in Persian and in Azeri and Turkish, it is namaz, and even in Hindi and Urdu, it is namaz. Uh, so the Arabic word is not there in the Maldivian language for that term. Uh, the uh, the city of Tabriz, though it is in Iran, it's and Iran's national language is Persian, but in Tabriz, even today, people speak Azeri, the language of neighboring Azerbaijan. So Tabriz is basically a Azeri city. Azeri is a Turkic language, not a Persian group of them. So we can see like the fasting in Ramadan. Uh, it is called Roda in Divehi. The Arabic word is Saum. Arabic word is Saum. But the Persian word or the Urdu word or the Azeri word will be Rosa. So that Da becomes Da in division. So uh, this changing of letters like Cha becomes Sa, Cha sometimes becomes Ha, and Ja becomes sometimes Da, and these uh, uh, we call phonetic migration. Phonetic migration. one letter migrates to the sound of another letter. So this migration, and if we look, if we look at this pattern, how it changes, what is the new pattern that it takes, and if we do a thorough research, we will understand the a new. We will find out a new pattern in our South Asian language. How, uh, for example, when it goes to the east, A becomes O. So when it is west, uh, e- from east to west, O becomes A. From west to east, A becomes O. For example, in Bengali and other languages, A becomes O. So it will be for example, bandu, it will be bondu in Bengal. So in Maldives also we see the same thing. For example, in my atoll, in Addu atoll, the eastern people use O, and the western people use A. In the east part of Addu, they say, for example, maro means death, maro, ra, ra, with the O sound, maro. In the west part of Addu, it is Mara. In west part of Pattu it is Mara, and east part of Pattu it is Maro. That Ra with the A sound is in west, Ra with the O sound is in the east. So in India also, if we see, the Bengal area is in the east. We see lot of A becomes O. So, uh, I mean, through uh, research and these etymological connections, etymological patterns, etymological adaptations, phonetic migration, if we uh, research it thoroughly, we can see lot of interesting patterns. So, uh, late Maldivian scholar Hussein Salahuddin penned the following lines, which clearly shows the depth of his knowledge of the etymological basis of the language. He says, "Pura aminge madari bas ekuegen ve ufedigen kurevida hindu tikuru hina bas ekuegen sharakam niva." Tensikirta පාලියා සිංහල තමළ පෙනයේ නිකං පෙන්නැහෙන් අරබීගෙ බස්ත ෆාර්සියා පොස්තුවා අම එපදැයින් හුරෙදයේ යූරපුගෙ බස්ත වෙස් ලිබෙන් නම බදෑ හෝදෑ උಳಿපි කතක දඟලු හම බුද්ධිවා. So the translation of it is, our mother tongue is, as it is evolved and alloyed languages of the East, and seen as seen when studied. Sanskrit, Pali, Sinhala, Tamil are seen evidently. Words from Arabic, Persian, and Pashto are perceived plainly. At hands are words from European languages too, if searched by a person of rational thinking. So rational thinking is buddhi. So thank you for listening. That is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Naseem. It was indeed a very fascinating and informative session. Now, I would like to invite the audience to ask if they have any queries to ask. Mr. Naseem, I have a question. I have a question in the sense like, as you said, this borrowing words from Punjabi, Sindhi, Malayali to Maldivian language. So how these words traveled to the island of the Maldives? It's through the
Actually,
merchants, traders.
yeah, there are from merchants, traders, and also there are like family connections also. Now also we have those connections, like there are distant cousins, families. So not only the material connections, but also blood connections and historical connections.
So these are the words which are mostly used in day-to-day life.
Yes, for example, those words that I have
Yes.
shown you are very much used in everyday life,
Yes,
like
yes. Yeah, yeah.
mother, father, door, air, and these words are very much used every day.
Okay. So how these Sindhi words, look, you said the occurrence of, you also find Sindhi words.
Yeah.
So what would
For
be the like
for example,
yes.
if we count in Maldivian language, like eke, eke is one.
Yes.
You can listen then.
Yeah.
Eke, de, tine,
Yeah.
hatere, pahe, haye, hate, ashe, nuaye, dihaye, egara, bara, tera, sauda, panara, sola, sola. That la sound is same as Marathi and Konkani.
Marathi, yeah, yeah, la, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
because in other Indian language it is sola, sola, but
yeah,
in Marathi it is
la,
sola,
yeah. That
la.
the la that joins.
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah,
yeah. So instead of we say, for example, we don't say pandra, we say panara, panara,
panara.
panara, panara. Not that pa changes into pa, so it is
Yes,
panara,
yes.
panara, sola, satara, ashara. Ata ta becomes sha, so ashara, like that.
It is very interesting. In your talk, you have mentioned about the use of the word for heaven and hell.
Yeah, that is swarga and naraka.
Yeah, yeah. So still, these two words are used.
Yes, every day, every day.
Ah, it's very interesting. So, uh, any questions from the audience? Thank you once again, Mr. Naseem. Your lecture was undoubtedly, it enriched our understanding of the subject.
Yeah.
And through your
Uh,
research, you have shed light on these etymological links between Divehi and other Indian languages, shedding light on the historical interactions and that have influenced its vocabulary and phonological characteristics. Would you like to add anything more,
Yeah,
Mr. Nasim?
I think the I mean today it is very easy for us to communicate because of the technology. We have Google Meet, we have everything. But if this was done, this presentation was done in a physical environment where we can see the faces more clearly and where we can move around a little bit walking, it would have been much more, I think.
Yes, yes. I hope that very soon we will come to this physical mode. We'll meet, we'll interact because it has a different charm about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I can, for example, I can write something when I'm talking. I can write at the
exactly.
moment something on the board
Yes,
or some on a flick chart or something
yes.
instead of showing pre typed slides.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when a person talks, some ideas comes from the gestures of the audience also.
Yes,
Then we
yes.
can add that to that.
Live
Uh,
interaction, you mean?
Live interactions,
Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
now the slide is pre-planned and so these are little bit difficult.
Yes, yes. But anyway, we are making it happen.
Yeah,
So that's important. And before we end this session, I would like to remind the audience regarding the upcoming fourth lecture of this talk series, which is going to be in the month of August. It is going to be delivered by Dr. Safi Noor Islam from Bangladesh. Okay, there is some Pratik Upadhyay has, yeah. Thank you, Iyaz sir, for this research-based presentation on etymological connection of Maldivian language to other Indian languages. Grateful towards host as well. Thank you, Pratik Upadhyay. So, in the next talk is going to be delivered by Dr. Safi Noor Islam from Bangladesh. So, Dr. Nasim, you can also, we will share the details. You can also join. So further
Sure.
information will be shortly posted on our SAARC website as well as Facebook. So once again, thank you everybody for joining us, and see you next month. Thank you.